We have a resident
sharing green cans.
Block captains would be...
You can't do everything.
It's more fun to do things in a community, even if we're not doing it at the same time in the same place.
How does working as a community help improve fire safety?
You can't do everything. You can work on your own property and do everything you need, vegetation management, house hardening, and then if your neighbors don't know what to do or are unaware of the whole process, you're still vulnerable. So when you work together as a neighborhood, you're able to learn how to do it and what to do, and everybody becomes jointly embarked on the same project. And by forming a community, we've really gotten to care about each other in a whole different way. So it becomes, issues come up that are way more than fire. The PG&E blackouts, other events have come up, and we have the database, we're in touch with each other, we can communicate and make sure we're safer that way.
A Firewise community is all about residents reducing wildfire risk. So that's what we're all about. And that makes everybody safer in the neighborhood, you and your neighbors. And so the community building and the community engagement is critically important for a Firewise community. And the other thing is that the two things that we're focusing on this year is fuel reduction and emergency preparation. They go hand in hand.
I also noticed a very surprising element about forming a Firewise community, and that is that even people who aren't actively members of our group, they might be in a nearby neighborhood or even in our neighborhood but not participating. Once they see us start doing the work, it's a process of modeling. All of a sudden, without us saying anything, they're doing the work themselves. And areas that were completely overgrown are within a month or two suddenly getting clearer. And you can see that they're aware that this is an issue, and they're taking it on board and doing it on their own initiative. So that has been a very gratifying area for just seeing how people are responding to the whole neighborhood at work. So,
can you give an example of neighbor helping neighbor?
We have a resident who lives alone, who had quite a bit of juniper in her front yard, and she wanted to get it removed. But of course, she couldn't do the work herself. So a group of men in the neighborhood got together and took it all out and cleared it for her. And it was just touching to see examples of that. One of the other things I noticed when we had our chipper service, there was an awful lot of help going on between neighbors with either helping them prepare for it, helping them get their stacks ready. So anytime you do a community event, the community comes together and helps one another.
We organized 2 volunteer days, and on each occasion we got 20 of our neighbors to volunteer. And we worked along the 2 main evacuation routes in our neighborhood, clearing vegetation, cutting it back, improving sight lines, and helping neighbors who I think had not focused on the roadside on their properties for a very long time. And by doing that, we got a tremendous amount of goodwill from people who hadn't been able to participate but were thrilled to see the difference. We were also able to identify a couple of neighbors who were older and hadn't the ability to really address their own gardens. And we identified a couple of areas with significant growth of juniper, and we arranged for them to have a lightning grant from PG&E so that they were able to get a contractor in and cleared the property. And that was because we knew them. That was because we knew that they were anxious about this but not really able to deal with it. Also, we were able to share tools. We help each other. We borrowed a chainsaw. Other people are sort of sharing things. So I think all in all, people have become way more neighborly and helping each other.
What is the biggest challenge to your Firewise site?
Well, obviously, I think the biggest challenge is apathy and motivation. And how do you help people raise the priority of taking care of their own vegetation to the point where they actually do something. And it takes a concerted effort to get people's attention. One way is, I guess you'd say, by awareness of fires. The Santa Rosa fires certainly motivated people, but that's temporary. And so keeping it in the forefront of people's minds requires repetition, and it also requires the sense that this is something that we all do. So it's a sort of a lengthy, ongoing process to convince people that this is worth doing, and that not only that their neighbors are doing it too, and that maybe they should think about it just because their neighbors are starting to do this. So it's a community awareness kind of situation.
It is making sure that everybody gets the information that we want to get to them about a chipper day or a broom pull, a group broom pull, which we have done, not since the pandemic, but we only have about half the residents in Cascade Canyon on our mailing list now. And I think that until we have everybody, we're not doing what's possible. So it's improving, but it's slow.
The number one thing for us has been, and continues to be, recruiting volunteers to act as street captains. And it's interesting to me because we get such positive feedback from neighbors anytime we do a community event, and everybody's pleased with the benefits of the program, but then they always stop short of volunteering. So we have currently 16 street captains, but we need double that amount. As far as for the street captains, I don't believe that they feel overburdened by any of it, because what we've asked them to do and what they've been wonderful at is be a communication link out to the neighborhood, and they're very engaged with their own little street. So they may have anywhere between 12 or 15 homes, and so they, just like myself, you expand and become more friendly with all of your neighbors, and so whenever we have something that we want to communicate, we're able to push messages out to the 16 street captains, who then can engage on a more personal level with their neighborhood on the topics.
The biggest challenge faced by our Firewise site, and it's shared by, I'm sure, everybody, is COVID-19. It has really restricted our movements, and we've had many delays in supplies and materials, and just missing the social interaction. But despite that, we've learned to adapt. So we just pivoted and we created our website. So we spent a few months with Maggie's help, and we have a webmaster down the street. He volunteered to, he said, I will build you a website, and they will come. So what we're trying to do now is direct a lot of traffic to the website.
Is it difficult to get and to maintain the Firewise certification?
The hardest part is the initial outreach. If you have it on your mind you want to form a community and you haven't done this kind of work before, it can be a little intimidating to reach out. And I think that's the hardest step, is to reach out and find some like-minded neighbors who are also worried about it. The way we did it was we simply put a notice on next door saying, hello neighbor, are you concerned about wildfire in your neighborhood? And suggested a meeting time. And the next step is, having got a few neighbors involved, is we did some door knocking. Obviously in the time of COVID, it's hard to do that. But you can leave information on people's doorknobs or doorsteps, and built our database. And that's really very important, because once you have your database, you have the people that you reach out to. They don't have to be the people who come to the meetings. They just are people who are interested in the topic. And then once we're all connected, we started the process, and it was very straightforward.
It is not difficult at all to get certified and to maintain that certification. It'll be a breeze because you've got terrific fire department personnel supporting you, and they're at your back.
Oh, I think maintaining the certification is not difficult. Once the ball starts rolling, sure, there's an initial effort to get people's interest and attention, but there will always be people who are interested in supporting this, and so maintaining it is not difficult. And furthermore, the fire department and Fire Safe Marin are both great resources, and other Firewise leaders are more than happy to join in and provide advice. So it's really just a question of convincing yourself that you would like to do this in your community, because there's plenty of support and it's really not very hard to get started.
The Firewise community is a way of getting people to address a problem. I give you an example of how receptive in general people are. When we proposed this Measure C last March for a tax, there were 3 other taxes on the ballot. Those 3 lost. Measure C, which funds wildfire prevention and supports all of this effort, it passed with 71% of the vote. So people looking at Paradise, looking at the Napa and Santa Rosa fires, were ready to say, yeah, it's possible we could have a fire here. Let's do something about it. And it's not onerous, and maybe if we work together, we can figure out what to do best. And I found people, you see all over the place, it says no trespassers, stay away, angry dog, or something like that. I go up, knock on the door anyhow, and almost always they come and say, "Who are you?" And I'll say, "I'm a neighbor, and I'm with the Cascade Canyon Firewise group." And the facial expression changes completely to friendly, a big smile. They've got thoughts, they've got ideas, they've got questions, they've got whatever else. And so I have found being associated with Firewise a great reception everywhere.